Hello, One Piece enthusiast. I'm the One Piece nerd, and today let's talk about Egghead, the island of the future. So, as of chapter 1061, we've figured out the island of the future and the island of Vegapunk. I'm not gonna get much detail into it, but from what it looks, it's gonna be a build-up arc. After Wano, seemingly one of the largest arc in One Piece, you don't expect Oda to write another big arc similar to Wano, like nothing big, because you want some sort of a rest or some sort of a build-up to a better and probably the final arc of One Piece. Most of us thought it was gonna be Elbaf, but well, if it was Elbaf, we would have hardly enough time to get introduced to one of the most influential characters in One Piece, Dr. Vegapunk. So, when Oda wrote this chapter, the chapter title, I thought it was I took it quite literally when he said the island of the future because this is where the future of One Piece lies. Not because of its technological advancements, but rather uh, what it leads in the future of One Piece, in the story of One Piece, how it can take it to a further level, and this is going to be the place where the big games play out. So, I want to start off with we already know that Bonnie being here, and we will get to figure out stuff like Kuma's identity, Vegapunk's allegiance, uh, whether he's with the revolutionaries or with the world government, how is Bonnie related to Kuma and whatever whatnot. That's definitely gonna happen, and it could eventually lead the revolutionaries to coming to Egghead because this is the place where you can get information about Kuma. And for Dragon, we know he's quite knowledgeable of a person, and he wouldn't miss out on the fact that Vegapunk is staying on this island. It's not unnatural because, as it seems, Bonnie herself knows that this is a world government island, and she knows that Vegapunk's there. And for Dragon not to know it is sort of unnatural. You would expect a person like him to know about Egghead, and if you want to figure out Kuma's origins and whatever whatnot, he'd have to come here. But that's not the story for this one. I've been trying to predict the ways in which the story could go from this point onward, with the starting of Blackbeard abducting Coby to Cross Guild to even this, like Bonnie coming to Egghead, revolutionaries making moves on the world government. The story has been going everywhere. So the chain goes something like this. The revolutionaries target the world government. The world government isn't seemingly that phased, but they're still a threat. The Cross Guild, on the other hand, creates a direct threat to the world government by getting bounties on Marines. And we have Blackbeard making his own moves against the world government, which is kidnapping Coby. And God knows what he's gonna do with Coby. Like, it's crazy. At first, he wanted Boa's fruit. That definitely didn't happen. But abducting Coby means that there has to be some sort of a negotiation with the world government, and the only group, or the only faction or the organization that is in trouble in the One Piece world right now is the world government and no one else. Although they have the seraphims, they've abolished the warlord system, two of the Yonkos are down, the world is in chaos, they are in big, big trouble. And from what it looks, it's going all over the place. Luffy seeming trying to find the last poneglyph, and Shanks trying to find his way to One Piece, Blackbeard also making moves. Nothing is going straight, but one thing is for sure. One thing that has been hinted at in the last chapter that I feel like definitely must happen is a conflict with Blackbeard. The world government having a conflict with Blackbeard directly this time. Coby is no joke of a character. He isn't strong, he isn't the strongest, he isn't an admiral, but he is a very influential figure when it comes to the Marine base. Because he's been known as the hero of the Rocky Port incident that is very famous, where he saved civilians from pirates, and that is very huge. He has a good reputation in the Marines, even the whole world knows about him. You've seen it from, Rebecca, Kuros, and whatever whatnot. Everyone knows about Coby. It was all over the newspaper, and the fact that Coby has been abducted by Blackbeard, it has also been spread out throughout the world. And if the world government did not take a chance on this, it would be negatively very impactful for the world government if they did not make a move. Again, then we come back to story. we go back to Swords. We have no idea about the organization. All we know is that Egghead and Coby are a part of it. Maybe Garp is in it too, and who knows whoever is in Swords. But we've got introduced to a few characters that we didn't know properly. They were very insignificant in terms of the real story, but we know that they're there and they are some of the top dogs of the Sword organization. Now, Egghead is a part of it, and Egghead and Coby are friends. I would say Garp is also heavily related to it because I don't see any other person creating an organization rivaling the CP0 directly. So you'd expect someone like Garp to be involved in this. Even Aokiji, for example, infiltrating the Blackbeard pirates to get information or keeping track of their moves so that the world government doesn't get left in the dust by them. So my point is, you see the Helmeppo and Hibari are basically trying to convince the Sword members to go after Blackbeard, go to Hachinosu, rescue Coby, and come back. Again, realistically, it's impossible. If you don't have Admiral level people, Admiral level Marines in the attack, it is highly impossible for you to infiltrate Hachinosu and rescue Coby without any damage suffered. Because he is by far one of the strongest crews right now. He is probably the second strongest crew in the whole world as of now, and the Marines don't even have enough power to go after him. So Helmeppo suggested that they could go to Egghead because they're very close to Egghead. They can go to Egghead and get Seraphim's, talk to Dr. Vegapunk, and maybe even infiltrate. But without the authority of the higher-ups, which means there are members in Swords that are more higher up than Prince himself, it would seem as though they would not make a move. But what could happen is that the world government do get involved. If they come to Egghead for Seraphims or even higher technologies to take care of Blackbeard, it would potentially lead to Luffy coming in contact with the Marines as well. And if Luffy hears about Coby, I'm not exactly sure how he'd react. Knowing that he's in trouble, again, with Vivi, I want to go back to this again. With Vivi, Luffy has no idea where she is. The Straw Hats have no idea where she is. We know that she's in trouble, and that's it. For Coby, that's not the case. For Coby, we know that he's with Blackbeard, and Blackbeard is in Hachinosu. We know the place, we know the location, we know the person, and we know where the trouble lies. And for Blackbeard and Luffy to have some sort of a conflict now at the end of the story, I think this would make a perfect sense. This would make perfect sense for Luffy to make ways to go up against Blackbeard. Again, a lot of us expect that maybe Blackbeard and Luffy would clash after they go to Laugh Tale, and somehow Blackbeard beats them to it, and something happens. But that is definitely a direction that I would prefer. But what it seems, it's as though it's going to that. It's going to that place where the way Blackbeard in real world was finished off was by a captain of the Navy. And it parallels to Coby. Again, Coby is not strong enough by himself to take care of Blackbeard. If he was, he would have done it already. He wouldn't have been abducted. He's not that strong. He's not the strongest. He's not Admiral level. And Luffy's definitely stronger than him, but it would make sense if we repeat God Valley again. Only this time, the Marine has been captured by the enemy, or rocks. I don't know how I feel about this, but this is one way I see the story going. If not, there has to be some sort of a negotiation or some sort of a place where Blackbeard and Luffy has to meet up. Capturing Coby takes Blackbeard nowhere near to becoming king of the pirates. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. But from what it looks, it takes him nowhere. And for Luffy to have such conflicts with Blackbeard at this point, I think it would make a lot of sense. This is the one time I want to see the world government and Luffy and the Straw Hats basically team up, go up against Blackbeard, finish things off, and then go into Laugh Tale. Again, the story is all over the place. We could lead the revolutionaries coming to Egghead, and finally Luffy making contact with Dragon. It could make sense if the Marines come to Egghead for backups from Vegapunk to go against Hachinosu, go to Hachinosu and rescue Coby, and for Luffy to be involved in that as well. The story is running rampant everywhere, with Cross Guild making moves in the Marines. The Marines are in a deadlock. They have very few resources and they are in trouble in every way, shape, or form. Luffy and the others now have freedom to choose whatever they want to do. And Blackbeard, seeming to fail in his first plan ever, to capture Bo Hancock and get her fruit, it seems as though the story is going all over the place. But maybe there is one direction that I do see. But that could definitely be wrong. You guys can, argue in the comment section below what Egghead leads to. Maybe it's too early to judge. But I want to know your initial inspections. What do you guys think? I think it would definitely lead to a world government and the Straw Hats making some sort of an alliance. And it would go down in the history books as the second alliance between a pirate and the world government to take down the big bad. Or it could lead to something more. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe. Have a great day, and peace.